John Gallagher Jr. Wow.
Yeah.
John Gallagher Jr.
Yeah. It's poison. It's mostly poison.
It's mostly poison.
That's good.
Hi, I'm Robin.
I'm Erin.
And this is Spirits and Spoilers, a show where we drink
Alcohol.
and talk about movies.
Ruin them for you.
Spirits and Spoilers. Today's movie is 10 Cloverfield Lane. A fantastic movie.
I have so many feelings about this movie.
Did I hype it up too much?
No,
Is it my
I
fault?
hyped it up too. No, John Goodman hyped it up too much for me.
It stars John Goodman,
Bradley Cooper.
Ramona
Flowers.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the guy from the
Jim.
newsroom. Jim from the newsroom.
So this was a really interesting movie because I've never actually seen Cloverfield. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed every minute of the movie. So there's no reason for me not to like the movie.
The movie starts off with Michelle in her apartment.
She seems upset.
Yeah. She's angry. She's about to leave. She's gathering her things. She's on her way out.
While she's in her car, her phone starts ringing.
And Bradley Cooper calls her.
Her phone's ringing. She turns it on, and this guy, Ben, her boyfriend, is like,
Hey baby, turn around. We just had a fight.
couples fight.
Couples fight. And then all of a sudden there are headlights behind her and she gets hit.
Her car flips several times, and then nothing. She wakes up, and she's in this room, this concrete room, and
Changed.
she's chained to the wall. She has a splint on her leg that is chained to the wall.
She has an IV in her arm.
An IV in her arm. Girls.
If you find yourself chained to a wall.
It's a little public service announcement. When you chain to a wall, you're in a bad spot. She tries to...
She rips out her IV.
You hear all this unlocking, this heavy unlocking noises, industrial locks on this door. And then suddenly there's John Goodman.
In all his glory.
It's kind of the best case scenario.
John Goodman.
John! Thank
Hey,
God!
John! Oh, I thought it was some creepy guy, but it's you.
He seems completely unfazed by the strange situation. Comes in, he's like,
Hey, you should be thanking me. I saved your life. There was this horrible thing that happened outside. Everyone out there is dead. I don't know what happened, but everything has gone to shit.
he's very matter-of-fact about everything. There's zero emotion.
Yeah.
It's just, this is how it is, this is what's happening, and this is what you need to do, and this is why you should be thanking me.
He leaves her with crutches so that she can get around.
He's like, here, get used to these. You're going to need them. Your leg is broken. She gets a crutch. She takes the little rubber end off, and
She files it down to a stake point.
and then she stands by the door.
And finally John Goodman comes in and she's ready to attack. So she goes for him.
He's just like swipes her away. He's like, oh, I have bigger things to worry about. And he's like, what are you doing? You need to conserve your energy.
Yeah. And says, I applaud your efforts. I'm really impressed with what you were trying to do. But don't ever do that again.
We hear this crash, and some guy's voice kind of holler a little bit. John Goodman is like,
What'd you
What
do?
did you do? So he runs out of the room.
He ends up coming back and leaves the door unlocked. She starts walking through this pantry and looks over and sees this guy whose name turns out to be Emmett. Emmett found his way into Howard's bunker because he happened to help Howard build it.
Yeah, and he's from Howard's town. They know each other.
Howard tells Ramona, hey, this really horrible thing has happened above ground. So they go up the stairs, she looks out, and she can see some pigs. Their skin has deteriorated, and that's his kind of like, we can't be out there in the air. As she's looking out that window, she sees Howard's car, and there's a red scrape along the side. And her car was red. So she takes note of that.
Howard makes dinner in this kitchen. Like, he makes this nice dinner, and they all sit down to this table that's set very nicely.
And Michelle decides to take this thing that Howard had said earlier and kind of play with it. He had said, no touching. So she decides to try to take every opportunity that she has to touch Emmett. They exchange salt and pepper shakers, I think, and then just kind of barely touch, and then leaves it and then says, oh, I'm sorry, I need the pepper also. And then she gets that from him, also does a little touch, and then does a,
thank you.
Thank you so much. And that just sets Howard off. He brings Michelle up to the wall and says, I see what you're doing.
Which is exactly what she planned, because she saw the ring of keys sticking out of his pocket at the table and just knew he would react in such a way.
She gets the keys. Yeah. She picks up a bottle from the table, smashes Howard over the face, so she runs up the stairs as fast as she can.
There's an airlock.
There's an airlock in this bunker. She gets to the first door. She gets through it. She starts to go out the front door, and Howard is like, no, don't go out there. And she's like, no, I'm going to go.
This woman, runs up to the door, and just that's great timing, runs up to the door, and is just like, help me, let me in. And her skin is, bubbling. She looks awful. Michelle's trying to let her in. And Howard is like, don't do it.
And then she started banging her head against the door.
Let me in!
Let me in! Now
Michelle's like, okay, I will not open this door.
I guess Howard was right.
And Howard was very forgiving.
Howard goes up to Michelle and says, I have something to confess to you. I actually ran you off the road. I was trying to run away from this stuff that was happening, and I hit you. And you ran off the road, and that's why I saved you. So now Michelle is actually pretty content. She's like, okay, everything Howard was saying to me was true. Everything Emmett was saying to me was true. Yeah. We're good to go.
There is a happy montage of living in the bunker together. It turns into an 80s sitcom for a minute.
We're doing a puzzle together.
Yeah, they got a puzzle. They eat dinner together. They're super happy about it.
John Goodman is constantly talking about his daughter Megan.
Yeah.
And he shows Michelle a picture of his daughter. He says, this is her. She loved Paris. Here are some of her clothes.
There's a point where they're playing, it's a game where they have to guess words.
Howard has the word little in this game. And Emmett says, the second word is...
And he points to Michelle. And Howard says, girl?
No, not girl.
And then Howard says...
Princess? Little princess!
Princess!
Little princess! That's it! No. Timer goes out.
Little women. Little women.
Little women. She's a woman.
And honestly, when I saw that, I was like, if I was Michelle, I would feel so comforted right now. It would solidify that he was replacing his daughter with me. And I would be way more okay with that. The air goes out.
The air conditioning goes out.
We need that.
The only way to get to the air conditioning without going outside... Ill-planned, John Goodman.
Yeah, we'll let that one slide.
Michelle has to go into the air conditioning vent, crawl through to get to the air conditioning room, where Michelle can restart the air conditioning system. Now, while she's there, she notices that there's a ladder that goes up
to a skylight.
She gets up there and she sees the word help has been scratched into glass.
Which means that the air conditioner has gone out before.
Michelle goes back down the ladder and finds a bloody earring. A bloody earring that happened to be on the photo of Megan.
There's a bloody earring, and there's a thing that says help. Like, that's all I need. I don't need it to match the photo. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, that's overkill. Like, we already get that this is bad.
I get it!
Bad. But she's like, maybe. So she goes back, talks to Emmett, and I was like, holy shit, I think something's happening. Let's continue to research this. Like, let's continue to find clues.
I don't know where Howard is while they're doing this.
It's a small bunker. Even if he's asleep in the room right there, you're talking at a low level?
Well, Michelle goes and gets the photo of Megan. Emmett says, holy shit. She was in high school when I was in high school, and she disappeared. No one knows where she went. She was abducted by somebody.
He's been at this for a while.
This girl's name is Brittany. They also find Polaroids of Howard with the kidnapped girl wearing
the same shirt.
The exact same shirt
that Michelle is now wearing.
So Emmett says, we need to get back to the surface. Emmett finds a survival guide in Howard's library.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. And one of the things in that book is how to create a hazmat suit. Michelle decides to create this hazmat suit. She can do it. She was a fashion major.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. She's slowly but surely getting it done. And then one day, Howard catches them with scissors. He pulls out this vat of acid and says, hey guys, come here. This is fucking acid.
Come here, I want to show you a vat of acid. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's a Tuesday.
It's fine.
We ran out of shit to do. I got a vat of acid. I'll show you.
Why the fuck do you need scissors?
So fucking Emmett is like, oh, I got this. I got this, Michelle. You just sit there and look pretty. Yeah. Oh, we have scissors because I wanted to create a weapon so I could get your gun.
I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry. I apologize for trying to make a weapon.
Let's just pretend like this never happened.
It's cool.
It's fine. It happened. Just get over it.
Howard actually says, okay. And then immediately shoots.
Takes out a gun out of nowhere. Shoots Emmett.
Boom.
That sucked.
It was so sad.
That sucked so bad.
And Howard goes up to Michelle and starts to comfort her and like, shh, it's okay.
He's gone now.
Everything's okay now. Yeah, he's gone. He was trying to hurt us and now we're okay.
Yeah.
Michelle goes back to her room and Emmett is now dissolving in acid. Michelle is still trying to create that hazmat suit. She hears Howard coming. She's in her bunker room. She tries to stuff the hazmat suit under her mattress. And Howard comes in and starts talking to her. And then as he's leaving, he just happens to see a piece of the hazmat suit sticking out. She starts running back to his room. She sees Emmett dissolving in acid. Howard is coming after her. She spills the tub of acid onto Howard. The acid starts trickling out and it starts an electrical fire because it hits an electrical wire and sparks come up. It catches on fire. She runs back to her bunker room, tries to put on the hazmat suit as fast as possible, And it's like, the only way out of here is up through that vent. Howard is there. He's kind of...
melting. He's melting.
And he has a knife. And so she's crawling through this duct space trying to get to that air conditioning room. And he is sticking the knife up into the ceiling.
Yeah.
And she's almost getting hit every time. I don't know how she doesn't get hit.
That's a knife.
It's a knife.
It was a knife.
And she's able to get to the AC room. She goes up the ladder and she goes out the top of it and realizes that the air is okay to breathe. And then she sees this hovercraft deposit some sort of animal. So she decides to try to go to that lady whose skin was melting off earlier. She decides to go to that lady's car. She can't get into that car, of course, and something is coming. So she sees some sort of chicken coopy-like thing. Michelle goes over there, finds the dead lady, and then you can see that creature is coming.
It's a space worm.
It's a creepy-ass space worm,
no,
dog.
It's from Tremors.
It's like the girl in Cabin in the Woods who was the ballerina with that crazy face.
Yeah.
It's that face. It's a lamprey
face. It's the thing
face.
that nightmares are made of.
And it starts to come in, and suddenly the alarm on the car goes off, and it distracts this lamprey thing. And she has time to get out of that structure. And she starts to run for the house and sees some lights on in the house, and it's like, hey, help! This huge ship comes over the house and starts to spew this green, clearly toxic
Because
stuff.
it's green. You don't want to inhale that shit.
So she runs into Howard's car. She lives through the green smoke with her homemade hazmat suit. She's really good. And so now she's been picked up by that massive monster. It's going towards his mouth. She's a fighter, apparently, now.
She is now.
She has a bottle of liquor.
That's the action I took in that moment when I realized what she was about to do. I was like, this is so dumb! She's gonna make a Molotov cocktail and throw it in the mouth, and like, that's all that's gonna need to happen. This is so dumb.
And that's all that needed to happen. And she gets plummeted back to the ground and lives through that.
Combat experience.
She gets out, is able to grab the keys, gets into Melty Face Lady's car, and starts to drive off. So she's driving down the highway, and she turns on the radio, and the radio says, hey, those of you who are alive, there are other survivors in Baton Rouge. Hey, those of you who are alive and willing to
If you have
fight.
combat experience or medical experience, then you should go to Houston. Houston is to the left. Baton Rouge is straight ahead. Right. Well, what I wanted to happen so bad was her to stop and think about it and to just keep going straight. Because that's what any sane person would do. I don't wait to see what they say. Oh, okay, let's go straight.
In this movie,
She goes to Houston.
she goes to
Because
Houston.
it's still a video game. Yeah, you fought off John Goodman and the aliens. Like, you earned
You're a
this
pretty
a little
badass.
bit. But why wouldn't you just fucking take that and internalize it and feel good about it and just go to Baton Rouge?
And that's the end of the movie.
The end of the movie.
Well, that's what we thought of 10 Cloverfield Lane. What did you think? Let us know in the comments down below.
Please like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe
Jesus.
to Jesus. Do we have an ulterior motive here? I mean, I'm okay with it if I get attention for it. I just don't.
Well, that's it for this episode.
Please join us next time for another spoiler-filled romp.
As we talk about Superman versus Batman.
Or Batman versus Superman.
Until next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
name was Martha.
That's the connection.
That was enough to like totally like de-escalate the conflict. You know why? Because there was no fucking conflict. There was no conflict.
Holy shit, what the hell is that?
I'm real bad at killing things. Like, it makes me feel awful. So Robin can... Here, I can provide a flat surface.
Wasp.
Oh, is it a wasp?
Well, that's what we thought of 10 Cloverfield Lane. What did you think of 10 Cloverfield Lane? Let us know in the comments down below. Shut up! Let me talk.
Let us know. Shut up!